we're seeing a real demand across the industry for ML engineers. I would add data engineers as well. Engineers in the data analytics and AI space are in very short supply. The rest of the question says, do you see that changing in the long term? In the long term, maybe, but definitely not in the short to medium term. And then it continues to say, will ML just become a fundamental component to the data scientist role? I might change that a little bit to say, will engineering just become a fundamental component of the data scientist role? Because in one of the previous questions, I mentioned the difference between the creation of models and the iterative, expensive discovery component, which is more like science, and it's where the data science or the science in data science comes from. And then once we have a model or a version of a model that we want to start to get value from and productionize, then we move into the world of engineering. And it's machine learning engineering and data engineering, which is how we create the platforms, the processes, the infrastructure to be able to provision this model at scale, so we can get value from it across the organization. And I really like to think about it in terms of the ratio that in organizations today, for every one data scientist that we have, or if an organization wants to get one data scientist, they usually will need between 2 to 4 data engineers or machine learning engineers. So if you think about that ratio of one scientist to 2 to 4 engineers, that really shows why we have such a shortage of engineers today, data engineers and ML engineers, because we need so many more. And as most industries have been focused on hiring more data scientists, and there's definitely easier support from executives to get to hire data scientists. But really where we are as an industry now is we're in a point where we want to get more value from our work, have higher impact from our machine learning, and be able to create and deliver AI that makes a huge difference in the world and to our customers. For that, we need so many more engineers. So I do think that the demand for engineers in this space will continue for some time. There's a lot of upskilling and a lot of cross-skilling that's happening in this space, where data scientists are learning more about data engineering and machine learning engineering, and vice versa. Data engineers are learning more about machine learning. We have software engineers that are learning more about data engineering with a bit of machine learning. So there's a lot more cross-skilling that is happening. I think it could be more easily accessible for people outside of the industry. I think that other areas like front-end programming have been more successful than us in lowering the barriers to entry, where people can come from any background and feel confident that they can do well in front-end programming. I would like us to do something similar in the data analytics and AI space, because we definitely, and particularly with a focus on the engineering side, because we definitely need more and more people, and it's something that's going to continue. And over the long term, I do think that engineering will be a fundamental component of the data scientist role, primarily because of the business expectations that we will be able to get more benefit from each person, but also from each person's work. And for that, we will have more people that are generalists, maybe with the exception of large to very, very large companies, where there's usually more specialization that happens. But overall, I think that there's a lot of benefits from being a generalist in this space. So if you think about the data ecosystem, thinking from data capture, data collection, data transformation, and the pipelines, all the way to creating the ML and serving the ML and the engineering pipelines required to take something to production, if somebody's is able to do the end-to-end process, then they're a unit, like a data science unit, and definitely it means that your value increases, your value within the organization, your value to other employers, and I think that's a very very noble aim that will hopefully be fun, but also secure you a really good future. So I think, focusing on the engineering side, super important. Most organizations need it. It's what organizations are looking for. Sometimes organizations don't know that they need it yet, but they will. And the leaders in the space, we already know it very well, and we know that we're looking for engineers. So people with engineering skills are going to make a huge difference. I hope this has been helpful. Invest in your engineering skills in the data space, and the payoff will definitely be huge. Thanks so much. See you in the next one.